Hey everybody, welcome to Jen Lowry Writes. Okay, today I am early this morning, 7:35, and I needed to do this for myself because the phones are going to start ringing, texts are going to start going off like crazy if I don't start earlier. We are getting closer to the beginning of the school year, and there is something about at least me as a teacher, and I'm not speaking for other teachers out there in the world, but when we start to get kind of the countdown where we know it's less now than a month away, now we start thinking, okay, we can't rest. We got to know, we've got to talk, we've got to share curriculum ideas. We're already starting to look up structures in place and curriculum frameworks that we can move forward, and I'm talking all of that work with my staff. And with my friends. So I just heard my go live. Let me grab my phone because I'm sure it's going to start to go off maybe a little bit. And I need it for my clock. But yesterday, what I found myself doing is writing in pockets the same way the day before. It's writing pocket work. And what I mean by that is I'm usually like sustained writing, doing the writing sprints. I've been staying on a pretty good schedule. And then all of a sudden, here we go back again, and there's a shift in the universe, and it disrupts my day. And I know that we all go through this as writers, and I just want to let you know that you're not alone, and that if you have to write in pockets, then that's great. We're still writing. Was I as productive as in my word count as I was when I was doing the sustained work? No. But any word is better than no word. And so I don't want us to beat ourselves up about all of that. In fact, I hate to even say it. So I have to say it. And then you guys, if you've been watching through the Nano with me and you've been writing with me, you know how much I love that Nano website. Well, I forgot a day to put in my work, and that was because I was writing in pockets, and it was the day the governor announced our jobs, what was happening with our jobs, what was happening with schools. And that day was just filled with, dings and more work sessions to watch on YouTube, and then I've got to analyze those work sessions, and then I've got to start processing everything. And I didn't write down my goals, and I cannot believe that happened. So, in fact, I'm going to try to see what day I missed and then go back into Jamboard because I did write them. But yesterday, I was just too busy to catch the mistake. Like, I was not feeling it. Once I realized that I did that, and it messed my days straight, and it messed my little flow up. July 14th was the day that I wrote nothing in. And let's see, when was July? That was July 12th. July 13th. It's 23:55. Let's go. Let's see if I can. Okay, 1773. I was going to see if I could actually narrow this thing down and figure it out. If I could figure, you tell me, and then I quit writing my dates on here. No, I really didn't. 2706 on July 14th. Total word count was 5085. Thank you. Word count for Nano today was 2873. Now you hear this, guys? I actually wrote 2873. Thank you, Jamboard. I'm going to go back in and add that to my Nano. And it's just going to show that I wrote it today. So you guys are bearing witness. But I'm like, why am I like, I got to do better? Okay. So, thank you, Jamboard, for keeping me straight with my dates. 2706. Let's go add that joker in here because we ain't got time to play around with this mess. 39174. There, that's better. I knew, okay, I'm going to tell you why I knew it was wrong. 41,880 words for Nano so far. I knew why it was wrong because I had 11,000 words documented before I started Nano. And so I was way under the count yesterday. And I was like, okay, what? Because I told you guys I wanted to jumpstart Nano. I wanted to get a good 10,000 words in. My goal was to get more, but I didn't. I got 11,000. So I knew that brain of mine had held that 11,000, right? And so now the word count is 52,617. Now that makes more sense to me. And if I mean, I'm fine with it showing the wrong day. I'm going to have to. I love my little chart though. I was going to screenshot it and keep it. And then I could put a little arrow and say, haha, you didn't do a day there. You're bad. It still looks good. It says at this rate, I will be done by July 19th, which is Sunday. But I'm going to get in some good work today because you're here with me and you're going to make me. That's what we're here for. But I need to get all this stuff straight first. So I'm at 41,880 words for Nano. And just so I can like ease my mind into this. Yep, that's right. Because it was 10,763. It's about 11,000 words is what I started with. So we're good. We are back on track. Hooray, hooray. All right, so I'm going to be typing, welcome to my writing sprint. I'm going to be typing with a 20-minute timer. I'll be back to chat when the timer means. What are you working on? It is day. Let's get it. Because we got to get it, y'all. We got to get this day. And I got to get early. And y'all got to help me before everything starts. So I'm starting my Jamboard. I'm not playing around with this anymore. Okay, yesterday I wrote 1732 in pockets. And I did not finish the chapter 21. So I'm still in chapter 21. I made a note in my journal that I didn't discuss about a dead body thing. And I just wrote dead body here. I'm glad I kind of remembered when I woke up this morning what that was. When I leave notes to myself, I kind of worry myself. Like, what are you doing, Jennifer? If somebody saw my journal, just especially during this time writing a thriller, please, guys, know that this is all fiction. The searches, oh my gosh. Okay, so chapter 21, I'm continuing right here on 7/16. If you guys want to know what I'm doing, like I'm actually writing sticky notes in my Jamboard, and I actually kind of give dates for myself. Okay, I'm ready to go. See, now I'm looking at dogs because it has to be a particular dog. It has to be a collie. There are different kinds of collies. I love dogs, y'all. I'll never be able to have another dog, but I absolutely love dogs. And I've got to have them in my books because of that. I think it's because my heart has a hole that a rough collie dog. It's actually I got so I didn't even start my timer. Just start writing. Oh, I'm so bad at this. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about my grandma's dogs. She had collies, and we lived in town. And my grandma's dog, we were very close in our homes, and her collie would walk me home every day, stop at the stop sign, and wait for me to go. And then it would, as soon as the fence would ding, she would go back down the street. It was the best dog ever. Oh my God. I told Eli she used to let me ride her on her back, and it was such a bad thing to do. And I didn't know that I was probably hurting that dog, but she loved it. She would come up to me just so I could lay on her. And I was really little. When she passed away, I had an experience with her. She came under the table, and I could feel her at my legs at the kitchen table. I'll never forget it. And I fell asleep on the kitchen bench because I didn't want to leave because I felt like her spirit was like right there. And so her name was Heather, which is the main character of my book. And then when Heather passed away, my grandma got another collie, and her name was Heidi. And so Heidi is going to be Ben's dog in here. And he says, "Can I take Heidi along?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, a girl? You're trying to take a girl with us on a working trip?" And he's like, "No, my collie." And I'm getting ready to actually introduce my sweet Heidi to the group because we've got to have a dog in here. I just have to. There's got to be. I was writing out. I was writing Offbeat, and there was a scene where she saw a dog, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I want a dog so bad!" And it was my Rambo. She saw English Bulldog, and he passed away. And so I try to put Rambo in my books. I wrote in A Magical Christmas Wedding. Jolly to me is one of my main side characters. He's a dog. And she loves Jolly, and Jolly brought her to the closet that had the magical wedding dress that helps her go back in time. And Jolly is an English bulldog. Um, so yeah, I have more patterns in books, not just about music, guys. This one doesn't have music in it, except a little bit, like what's your radio preference kind of thing. And they make a joke about it when she turns it to jazz. But no, I do that in honor of Lisbon off of The Mentalist. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pop back over, see if anyone's here. No one's made it back into the chat, so that means I'm going to keep writing. So, okay, I'm in my second round of writing sprints. I'm going to keep at this thing 8, 10 to 8:30. I'll be back to chat. And because everybody has different time. Okay. See, they're already starting, and it's 8:10. That's why I've got to write early. Okay, I'm coming right back. There. Got to get my last sentence in. Let me italicize this thing. Good morning. I'm back. I just finished that chapter. Ooh, how you doing this morning? Let's see what you're working on. I've been at this since 7:30, and hopefully I got some good word count in there. But I'm just pleased that I finished the chapter from yesterday. I had this whole beginning conversation about writing in pockets, because if I start a little later in the day, work starts. Emails, teachers start contacting me, and it's happened for the past 2 days. And so I know I have less than a month before we do have to go back to work, but teachers are steady on it. So I've had to pull myself up early just to get this done, because I can't allow my work to be impeded. So how you guys been doing? I'm gonna go and check my word count, and then we'll start a 20-minute sprint. Yeah, I love my job, but sometimes even during a break, you don't have the mental break. Your mind is constantly still there, and now you're starting to think about the fall of the year, or I do anyways as a teacher. Oh, sure. We got us a question. I can try. Okay, go. And I've been having to balance the family. And so many of us write in pockets. I know that with Nano, trying to keep this structured schedule has really helped me. But I have not been able to keep it every single day this past week. But that's life. You work around what you've got, and you just don't give up, and you just keep finding time and little pockets of time. And by the end of the night, then you've got progress. Any little bit's better than nothing. I'm waiting on your question, and then I'm going to head on over. check word counts, and document the stuff. You also missed that I forgot to log into my Nano, and you guys know how much I was telling y'all I love that website and how it keeps up the pretty charts. And then one day on June 14th, I forgot. You guys have got to help me, like, remember my life. But I had it on my Jamboard. I wrote my word count down and everything. Okay, so let's see. Hey, good to see you. 817. Yeah, we got to remind each other. Okay, so here's our question. So a lot of people are working from an epilogue first. Oh, so I was confused. Do you work from the start of the last chapter and back to the last page and then back? Okay, so here's what people do, and this is why I love YouTube, because so many authors talk about their process. You can read blogs about it. You can connect with people on Twitter. The writing community is great over there. I would really suggest that you start hashtagging the writing community if you have not done so already, and just start learning from other authors. And you will be so surprised of the different approaches that we all take to our work. And that's why I love listening to different authors talk about it, because everybody has their own style. And I'm going to say, like, for this book, I've tried something completely different than I've ever tried before in my entire life with writing story. And it's because this one, I felt like I needed to reach outside of my comfort zone and actually do some plotting. And so I actually did start with the end in mind. Now, I didn't write the epilogue or anything like that, but I did roughly outline by creating a separate note-taking sheet. And I actually took Act 3 and I plotted everything out in Act 3. I knew who my killer was. I knew the motive, which gives me the why. It all made sense to me. I've never done that. I've always been a pantser and just started from page 1. And so I don't know if a lot of people plot that way. I do know that I watched, like, one of my favorite YouTubers. She's an author, Alexa Dawn, and she was talking about working with that third act with a thriller. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to try this strategy and I'm just going to see if it works for me. And I will tell you that it has eased my mind a little for this book because I already know what's coming. So I can do a lot of these threads in between and all of just connecting things because I know how it's going to end. And so I didn't actually, like, type the last page or work the last chapter, but I did create an outline for Act 3. And I went to the 3-act structure. I don't know if you follow anything from Readsy, but I love Readsy. And Readsy has a fill-in template that you can get that can really help you plot. And it's the 3-act structure template. It's free. They'll send it to you as a, like, you can click it as a download, but then you can edit it and you can work within it. I had the template, I have the images. Then I took the Jamboard and I plotted it out on a separate Jamboard sheet. So I want to encourage you, like I'm using digital sticky notes to plot it out. But if you like handwritten sticky notes or you've got your journal like I do, you can plot there. I also did a Google Doc. Oh, you're so welcome. Like, the Google Doc note-taking sheet was awesome for me because I was watching that episode, that video from Alexa Dawn, and I used it as she was the professor and I was the student, and I was taking notes like crazy. Just writing terminology down, just really taking in that third act. So I kind of did that, and I got like 6 pages of notes just from that session. of watching about plotting the thrillers. And then I went to the Save the Cat beats. So I looked at the Save the Cat beat sheet. You can look at those images. I signed up for Jessica Brody's newsletter, and you can get the templates from the website. And I love her newsletter. They send you great tips in your inbox for writers. So, I was using a combination of the 3-act structure image plus the Save the Cat beats. And I went ahead and got enough for that 3rd act to then start. And I've never done that before. I've never did any kind of note taking. Usually I will just pull up an empty Word document and go, okay, here we go. What's happening? Who are these people? And I think it was because this was a new genre for me. I've never written an adult thriller before. This is going to be a clean read, but it is going to be for mature audiences because it does have crime scene experiences in here for older audiences. And when you're talking about a serial killer book, there's going to be like the warning there, and it's got cults in it. So there's going to be a warning there. But it's a clean read. That's the same for me. But this is like a whole new ball game. So I really like the work that I put into it prior to starting, though. Will I try that again for a book next year that I might write? I mean, I don't know, but I know it worked for this one. And I'm glad I did it. And then in the middle of writing, new characters started coming. So I will tell you that when I was plotting that 3rd act and I knew the end, I knew my killer, but I also knew my foil characters. And so yeah, and I think that's when you ramp up all of those action scenes. So I don't know if you've looked at one of those Save the Cat beat sheets, but there is just this flow to a story. And in that 3rd act, that's where you've got like everything coming all together. You've got to solve whatever it is. So you're doing a thriller too. You've got to put all of the pieces together. They've got this dark night of the soul. They've got these moments where they feel like everything is lost. But then they have one of these characters that comes in to help, and then it's all going to tie in. And so that's, for me, that was kind of like, oh gosh, how am I going to pull that off? I was a little intimidated, and I'm still kind of a little intimidated by this whole thriller genre because I don't want to mess it up. Like, I want to get this one right. I love these characters. I want this story to work. I know all of us want these stories to work. I mean, we're putting our time, our effort, our love, our care into everything we write. So I'm not saying that it's perfect first draft, but I'm saying it's almost a finished first draft. And that's what I can be proud of at this moment. And I think that one of the reasons why I have seamlessly worked through this novel, it's not just because I'm a prolific writer and I have a lot of books to back that up. Like I can push through the story arc. But no, I worked prior to the Nano. So then I've got the 50,000 words with Nano. I wrote 11,000. So that way I could get myself in a good push, in a good position for me to start Nano. So then I would have over 60,000 words. And then that would only leave me like 10,000 more words that I needed to be able to close up my first draft. Because I understand with my first draft, if I can get like 65,000 words in there, then I know when I'm doing the edits, I'm going to push up my word count possibly, and I could get to that 70,000. And the research I did prior to this work, yeah, no, I was looking at like the genre specifics. I always like to see that because I would want my book to kind of stand up against other books within the genre. And 70,000 to 90,000 words was kind of like an average word count range that I was seeing for adult thrillers. So I was like, man, if I could just get through this at 65,000 words for my first goal, for my first edit, be a little under 7,000, then I know that I could then go in and fill in any plot holes that I might have. Like I woke up looking at my journal and I'm like, oh, I wrote dead body from yesterday. And I'm like, oh, that is a part that I completely didn't even address. Like, I got to go back in. So I know there's probably some things I might have missed as I keep pushing forward, but I don't want to stop. I want to keep this momentum and I want to keep driving through the story, let it get to its end. I already know its end. So I'm getting so close right now that I'm on the cusp of walking into the final scenes here. In fact, I already have everything kind of outlined out. So let me count my chapters. I have 6 more chapters to go. And so with 6 more chapters, if my chapters are ranging like, 25 to 3,500 words. I'm not a mathematician. Let's see, 6 times. I'm thinking I'm going to get 15,000 more words in. Let me see if I'm going to be kind of close. Let's see what my word count is. I'm excited to see how much I've wrote this morning. Yep, 6. Look at that. If I keep on this kind of trajectory that I'm going on, thanks to Nano, I'm going to be at 69,547 words if I kind of keep on the 2,500. And that's kind of the low end. I've been pushing some chapters 3,500 words. So I could possibly hit my 70 right in this first draft, which means then I have still room within the 70 to 90,000 word count range that I was looking at. So do you look at the word count things? Do you look at that kind of genre expectation for word count? Stuff like that. I try to stay within that mainstream line of the word counts. I know for Sweet Potato Jones, that is the longest book. Well, Bridges is pretty long for YA, but Bridges is one of it's my trilogy that's out. That one kind of was pushing the word length a little bit for YA, and Sweet Potato Jones made it at 90,000 words. But my publisher, my editor was amazing, and they really helped me kind of streamline. And we pulled it down to 90,000. So we cut like over 10,000 in the final edits, back and forth with Sweet Potato Jones. But for this book, I'm really excited that I just did that calculation and saw that I might get a 70,000 word count first round. Yeah. So thanks to my friends Tish and Ann. I always like to give them a shout out. Tish has already streamed this morning. If you haven't subscribed to Tish BVA's channel, you can find her. She's streaming earlier. She's in a different time zone than me, and she's one of my dearest writing friends. And she streamed earlier this morning. She gets on early. But I knew I had to do it this morning. I knew I had to get up earlier because around 10 o'clock is when I was trying to start to write, and that's when all of the text messages and that's when the phone calls started, and that's when we were like yesterday, it was, okay, so how are you going to structure your 3-week rotations and what is it going to look like? And so I was actually thinking of the novels that I'm going to be teaching next year. And I'm like, okay, I got to stop. I can't do this today. I got to write. Well, I'll have time for that. Oh, yeah, I love it. And connecting with nature, I know that is going to just bring your soul to a place of emotion. I listen, what I call fairy music. I let my son, he's 12, he's about to turn 13, but I let my son listen to some of the music that inspires me. I love listening to instrumental music. I wish I could play it here on the channel, but I know it would be a copyright issue. But I love the flutes, and I've got like the best channel. I got to share it with you because you might like it. But I'm addicted to this one, okay, it's a dance of life. I'm addicted to this one thing, and like I listen to it. Let me see if it'll let me pop it in there. But that channel, I actually saved that in my playlist, and I actually put it in not only the fantasy book that I wrote in the spring, but also for the Sunday Killer, because this has been an inspiration for me. It's just, I love it. I wish that I could do the walk through the woods, but I think that that's awesome, awesome. I love it. And they're about to go to a lake house. Now, this is what's fun to me too, is that because I am such a pantser, sometimes my internal scream is I'm going to go against this plot that I've already built for Act 3. I had nothing about them going to a lake house. Absolutely nothing. Yet, my characters are about to do a weekend retreat. And it's not going to be a treat. I am working thriller here. So I'm getting them in a lake house for some reason. And I don't know what's about to happen there. But maybe that's where I've got one of these pivotal moments that's going to be about to happen. But I know who my people are, though. I know who my killers are. Oh, and I was telling you, another thing about the pantsing, I had foils already organized at who could, as the reader is trying to piece it together themselves, what would they think? Who's the killer? My aunt is an avid reader of thriller and mystery and suspense, and she was like, the chapter 1, sometimes I already figure out who the killer is. I can't deal with this, Jennifer. Like, I need people to like surprise me. And I'm like, well, hopefully you're going to be surprised by mine. It's my Aunt Dot. She's a character in my book. She's a reporter. But she's beta reading for me as I go. I have a beta reader as I type. But it's hilarious because I even had an introduction to a character that became a foil that I didn't even list. Like, so just because you list things and you plot things and that third, I want you to know if something surprises you, go with it. You have that freedom. So just because you create lists or notes or you plot it out, allow the story to also have its own breath, its own life, and let it just carry you forward. And if you get surprised and you meet a new foil, or if you meet a new killer and you're surprised, then guess what that means? That means that your reader is also probably going to be surprised and go, wait, what? What's happening here? Now, I write sweet romance, so that's why I say this whole thriller work. Yes, it's an unfolding. I love that. I love that. I just see it as like, yes, I love that. With me writing sweet romance, my subplot, of course, has a romance in here. I cannot help myself. I think about some of the different crime shows that I'm addicted to, like my favorite. I don't know if you've seen The Mentalist, but there was that subplot running through this whole time. And it was the same way with The Perception. Just finished up the Perception series. But I'm telling you, The Mentalist was a huge, huge inspiration for me. I love that show so much. It taught me that it was okay to actually have a cohesive team. There was no jealousy, backbiting, undercutting, undermining in the criminal investigation team. And so when I built my team of my rhinestone cowboy, my diva, my surfer guy, and Heather, when I built them, and Kane had to come in later, I actually built a very strong, like as soon as they started working together on these cold cases, they just worked. They just meshed so well together. And I'm so glad that I watched The Mentalist prior to writing this series, this book. I don't know if it's a series or not, but it could be just a standalone. Yes, I have a rhinestone cowboy. So here's my thing. Like, if you read any of my work, I really take special care of my side characters. Like, in Sweet Potato Jones, for example, I love Miss Sunshine. Now, look, Sweet Potato's my girl, okay? I love her. I love her family. I champion for those kids. You just don't know. But there is something about Miss Sunshine. She's one of my side characters, and she's Queen Latifah in my head. So if you know Queen Latifah, go ahead and like call her up and say, I need her to play Miss Sunshine. Like, tell her to make a movie for Miss Sunshine. Um, but yeah, I've got this elder. I love elders too. So there's an elder um, honoring in my books. Like, so even with the Hartwell Chronicles, Teenage Exorcist, imagine the Golden Girls. Imagine the whole cast of the Golden Girls as paranormal investigators. And so in the Hartwell Chronicles, I've got these teenage exorcists with an elder paranormal team. And they're like the oldest people in the history of the world. And Dot is in there too. My aunt's in all my books, but her, she's Dorothy in that one. And her twin, like her sister is Betty, which is my mom's name. And so they're the paranormal sisters, the psychic sisters. Oh my gosh, they're a trip, man. Like, and they drive a Ferrari. It's hilarious. Yes, I have like the Golden Girls of Paranormal Team in my Exorcist book. So I'm like, I'm kind of a little weird, okay? So I'm just warning you. So my characters, as soon as they introduce themselves to me, I get extremely excited about character introductions. And so this guy, Mike, I want you to imagine, yes, that's how I do. Like, okay, so I want to go show you what I do. And I am getting excited because I love images. You're going to get me in this rabbit hole of life right now. But okay, so I found Jade. Okay, Jade is my diva girl, but she's also like a computer genius, and she's a hacker, and she is like phenomenal behind a computer. So Jade is just this like so like elegant, classy diva, fancy, but her brain is always working, and it's almost like she's a walking computer. Like, she can break any system. It's like she's awesome. Um, and so if you have you seen The Mentalist? I don't know if you have it. She's kind of like the Van Pelt character of my life, because Van Pelt would always be the one that would check financial records or anything like that. But this is my girl Jade. So I have a Jade in my head. So she's the diva. And I got to show you, you're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh, but oh my gosh. So I know that Tom Selleck plays on Blue Bloods, right? I know he does. But, like, okay, I'm going to show you. Is you're going to laugh, probably. You might not laugh. But my rhinestone cowboy is named Mike in the book. And this is like Mike. Mike walks around with a black cowboy hat. My dad actually had cowboy boots. And I think listen, I'm not joking my dad. I love my dad. Rest in peace, my dad. But he was a little shorter. And my dad was 5'6", and he wore cowboy boots all the time. And I think it was because he needed to have that lift. But he probably just also loved cowboy boots. And my dad had spurs on the back of his boots, and they would clink and clank and spin. And so I've got the rhinestone cowboy. That's what they call him. This is my character. So I actually see an elder like Tom Selleck as Mike. And then I'm going to show you like what I made. Like, this is my Sunday Killer. This is on Canva. I make a lot of my things on Canva. That was my timeline for the Sunday Killer. You see let me see, where did I put Mike? I'm trying to see. Edited one day ago. I think Mike is in here. So I just recopied things. Oh yeah. Okay. This is Ben. Okay. This is who I see as Ben, like this little surfer guy. And then when Sam saw it, my son, he was like, Mama, you picked somebody that kind of would look a little bit like Jesus. Well, his name is Benjamin. He's named after one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So maybe. Um, and then my stepdaughter laughed at me one time. She was like, "Why do you always put like long-haired dudes in your story?" And I'm like, "'Cause it's my stories and they can exist there." That's all I'm saying. But that's my Ben. Um, and he's on the team, so he's kind of like the surfer guy, but um, doesn't he look kind of like a surfer guy? Like, I don't know, but to me, he does. And I found him with ice cream. And come on, there is a line in my book. What's your ice cream flavor of choice? And what kind of shark would you be if you could? 2 vital questions in life worth answering. That is from Detective Ben Caraway. Yeah, so I kind of try to give them, like each one of my characters, these extreme, unique personalities. And then when they all get together, Mike is actually like taken in by, Mike's wife named Maud, Mike and Maud, yes, they're elders on the force, and Mike's been on the force forever. And he kind of has taken in Ben, and Ben kind of hangs out with them. Ah ha ha. Yes. Okay. I'm writing that down. We never know. He is, I will tell you this, church confession. I'm writing that down just in my book. I'm going to remember what that is. He is going under the radar. I will tell you that he is a part of the Crystal Falls community. So I'm kind of doing kind of like the Stephen King thing where he has his town. Crystal Falls is my town. That's the same town that's in A Magical Christmas Wedding. So this is just the bad side of Crystal Falls. So he is part of that community. It's not a stranger coming in. So he's flying under the radar right now. And she just did her press conference to kind of let people know there is a serial killer on the loose, because they've been kind of keeping it under wraps, but they're getting pressure from the top kind of thing. So she actually does, right before going to the lake house, she puts the warning out for everyone. And he's a seasonal killer too. So they're starting to feel the pressure, because the fall of the year, Friday night lights at the football stadium, at the high school, they're already starting to know that he's out there lurking somewhere. And so they're going to let the public know that between now and December, be alert. By the end of December, we feel he'll kill again, kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to hit the headlines, and now the headlines is going to say the Sunday Killer, because Dot is going to name him. You know how always the media names the killers after she gets hold of the case information more, she's going to give him the name. So I give my aunt that honor of naming the serial killer, because he hasn't officially got a name yet. Only the cops have been keeping everything kind of like, I know, keeping it all under wraps right now, but can't keep it all hidden for long. So I know there's a lot of twists and turns in this one, things that happen that I wasn't expecting to happen, but I think that that's just a part of the writing journey and the writing process. So just follow your own process, create your own way. You can listen to every author in the world, and you can do tick marks and tallies of, well, they start this way or they do this. Like Kate DiCamillo is my favorite author. I don't know if you've ever read any of her work or not, but because of Winn-Dixie, The Tale of Despereaux, she did The Three Rancheros, which is my favorite series. She's got over 30 books. Like, I love Kate DiCamillo. But her process is she writes 2 pages a day. Like, that's it. She does 2 pages a day. And then she reads books, and she goes back to it the next morning. She wakes up at 5 a.m. and she writes 2 pages. Then throughout the day, she'll journal, but she only writes 2 pages a day. And you think, wow, and she's so prolific. But you think about it, take a calculator out. 365 times 2 pages a day. Like, how many books you getting out of there? Especially if you're writing children's literature. You're getting a lot of first drafts in there. I know that. So everybody has their process, and just discover your own and walk through those woods and then let me know how that felt. I can live vicariously through you. Go out there and record it. Tell me what you think. But yeah, I'm gonna go check my word count right now. I'm gonna skip over and let's see what I've got for the day. Okay. So I just finished this chapter. Love it. And you know that rhinestone cowboy is he jokes a lot. He always has got something to say. I named one of the dogs Bob Barker because I grew up on The Price is Right. I am dating myself. Every day around lunchtime, The Price is Right. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, completed chapter 21. And now it's at 37.98, which to me is a healthy chapter for an adult thriller. Nothing like my middle grades books. My middle grades sitting at like 1,200 to 1,700 words a chapter, because I do write for reluctant readers, because that's the students that I teach. 37.98. Okay, so now 37.98. 37.98 is the chapter. And then how much? Okay, so I started. Total word count was 50,885 words when I started this morning. Let's see what I got today, guys. Okay, I might have to do another round, or I might be finished. I'm feeling like I'm finished. That's what I'm thinking, but yeah, I'm finished. Yep. Okay. 3,662 words done today. And now I'm going to have to get up in here and do it on my Jamboard, because if I forget to type it into Nano, I actually have a backup. So if you're forgetting to put yours in, total word count, 54,7. That's what mine is right now. I wrote 3,662. I think that's what it said before my phone went dead. Okay. 3,662 words today. Having a backup, I know that's crazy, but yeah, you too. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. You're awesome. Get to writing. Yep. All right. Have a good one. Prayers to your success today. Okay. Let me see. I'm now going to go to the Nano website, and I'm typing this mess in just because I'm going to forget later. Plus 3,662. Yeah, I'm like triple writing this mess down. I'm not losing you. very productive this morning. I'm feeling really good with this. Less than 5,000 away from meeting my nano goal. At this rate, you'll be done by July 18th. I'm averaging 28.46 a day, but I mean, it's going to be off now because I skipped the day. I did go in and add my word count in there, but I skipped that 14th. I hate that I did that. I'm just going to have to remember. Okay, and now, so when it says that I wrote 6368 words today, I did not. Now, on July 9th, I wrote over 7,000 words in a day. So I might be able to work later on and get some more words in, which would be so cool. I might finish it up. I mean, who knows? I'm almost at 55,000 words total for the book. Awesome. Okay. But I love this Nano website. Congratulations, you unlocked a badge. 40,000, right? 40,000 words. You're 80% of the way there. Awesome. Okay. Then I'm going to go check on my cabin in the woods camp. I love my camp that I created. It's my writing group on Nano. Let's see if anybody has said anything. I can check in with them. Oh, wow. Achieved your Camp NaNoWriMo gold badge. She wrote 5,000 words. Yay, we had someone else with a 10,000 words badge. 7-day streak. Okay. Dear campers, I'm going to send them a little note. Just checking in to say good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. I love to see those badges popping up in the stream of messages. Congrats to, I think you have to tag somebody for meeting their Nano goal. Way to go, chick. Okay, look at on the next street. We got this, ladies. Okay. That's next street. Yeah. I don't send them as emails. I figure if people go in and check their camp, that way it doesn't ding and annoy people. I try to check in like once a day and once every other day with the camp, with the cabin, see how everybody's doing. Words of encouragement or just hanging out. What's up? So I love that too. Okay, so now I'm done with chapter 21. And then now chapter 22. And then I know how that one's going to start off, which it now fits in. And now this one is going to be the lake. I got to add that new scene in, that new setting. Here's my subplot. And then, so I still am working 6 chapters left. So in 6 days, if I'm doing a chapter a day, which would be next Wednesday. But I might be able to pull in a couple of chapters. You never know. All right, guys, thank y'all for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a blessed one, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.